If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is December the 24th, the 24th, 2023, and today the topic is hook, line, and sinker. Happy Black Friday, y'all. Yes, happy Black Friday. And did y'all miss me yesterday? Yes, your girl. I took a little day off yesterday. I know. Again, I didn't know that I was going to. I woke up with the intentions to do the juice and things of that nature, but I don't know. I guess I just was like, I'll give y'all a break, give myself a break. I don't think I had a break all year, so I'll take one day. So Thanksgiving Day, I decided to just woosah and everything like that. But yeah, man, I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving and that you guys had a good time with family and food and all kinds of good things. I know we all have something to be thankful and grateful for, even if it's just life. So yeah, man, and we had a good day. We went and spent it with my in-laws, so it was a Sage Thanksgiving. It was kind of low-key, I would say, and everything like that. There was these moments with my in-laws, I guess doting on me, like, oh, you're just so great. I'm like, I'm just trying out here. I'm just trying. So, but it's nice to be appreciated and I guess seen, and things of that nature. So that was nice. Saw my grandmother-in-law, saw my brother-in-law as well. But yeah, it was just a nice little time and good food, and watched a couple of movies and had some good conversations, things like that. So yeah, man, good time overall. I hope you guys had a good time as well. I know it's way later than usual, but I said I'm gonna go and get a juice today. So I don't want to be like 2 days in a row. Like, oh, hold on, Miracle, you did Thanksgiving, but hold on, now you ain't gonna do today. No, but this conversation of hook, line, and sinker, where did it come from? So I woke up around 8 on the dot. Well, I woke up before that, but then I went back to sleep. So then by the time I got up again, I looked at the clock and it was 8. And but I want to say that the conversation came from that per se. I would say that this conversation about hook, line, and sinker came from me looking up the number 44, I think it was, because I just happened to look at my phone and it said that it was like 44 degrees outside or something like that. And so I looked up 44 in the Strong's Concordance, and one of the words that came up meant hook. The other one meant father or something like that, but something about hook really stood out to me, and I'm like, why is hook standing out to me right now? And then ultimately the phrase hook, line, and sinker, we know that phrase, that came into my heart. Well, actually it was hook and sinker, just hook and sinker, and then eventually when I looked it up, it was hook, line, and sinker. And that phrase meant, when you look that up and like, what does that phrase mean? It means to be fooled completely. And I guess that resonated with me this morning to share and look up and study and things of that nature. And so here I am, to talk about hook, line, and sinker today. One of the first things that came up, or first verses that came up, was talking about obviously Eve and how she was deceived and things of that nature. And then it goes deeper to talk about like how Adam wasn't deceived. It was Eve that was deceived. And things of that nature. You guys got to go deeper and look into their journey and story. A couple of those verses are in the Go Deeper section for you guys to peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. But with that in my heart and mind, thinking about, the fall and Eve, and then this idea of being quote unquote fooled completely, or the hook, line, and sinker. I was led to write these verses down, and I feel like is just a reminder for us, right? Because just as easily as Eve got deceived, we too get deceived, and things of that nature. And we all sin and falling short, so judgment on anybody. I'm just saying that we all are capable of this happening to us. And so in order for it not to happen to us, and we go down a dangerous dark path and all this different type of stuff and have an effect on other people in their lives and things of that nature as well, how can we avoid being quote unquote fooled completely? Here goes some verses that I hope will encourage and inspire you. So here we go. Colossians 2:8. It says, "See to it that no one takes you captive by philosophy and empty deceit, according to human tradition, according to the elemental spirit," or elemented, y'all can look that up and make sure, "spirit of the world, and not according to Christ." So that's one thing that can help us in this. I mean, again, if anybody's talking about anything or wanting you to do things that aren't biblical and things of that nature, then hey, that's one way to know, hey, that, maybe they're trying to quote unquote fool me completely. Maybe they are trying to use the hook, line, and sinker and things of that nature. And it's best for us to, I guess, rebuke those things, repent for those things, turn away from those things. And the things, like they said, the philosophy and empty deceit. And then the interesting thing was standing out to me in this moment is this part that's talking about according to human tradition and then according to the spirit of the world, basically saying. This thing about tradition is definitely interesting. I mean, I know people talk about it all the time, like, oh, holidays, oh, this, oh, that. And people got problems with different things or whatever. Well, those that I guess are religious, right? And then there's others that's like, oh, anything goes, da 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 da. And I'm like, I feel like there's a balance, right? There's like a happy medium that God gives us, obviously, rules and things to abide by and things of that nature. But at the same time, we have freedom. There's, things of that nature as well. And so, but how can human tradition get in the way of things of God? Well, it can easily do so. Like if we get in a habit or routine of just doing things and stuff like that and not, again, doing things according to God and his will and his way, then that too can become a hook, line, and sinker situation. It can become something that can fool us completely. Matter of fact, I didn't know how deep I was about to go about all this, but I'm reminded of something I saw yesterday or this morning, where it talks about it being a shame to be, for example, a believer. You go to church all the time, you do all the things, and then find out that you still not, a child of God, basically. So it basically, I guess all this is saying, I guess to me this morning is that, again, we can all get easily caught up in things of this nature. Again, getting caught up in philosophy, people who wanted to debate and go on and on about different philosophies and ideas, and then, again, the empty deceit of the human traditions and all this different type of stuff. So I guess what we have to get in the habit of doing, which we might not all want to do, is to, again, when we face different trials, tribulations, whatever the things may be, or temptations, then, align those things with the Bible. Like, hey, what does the Bible have to say about these things? That takes time, that takes patience, that takes, seeking God and all of that. But that's what the Bible is asking us to do. And everything like that. Because if you don't do that, then you can easily be swayed by any little thing, whether it's someone else's opinion or quote unquote tradition or whatever it is. So just something to think about. Again, if you don't want to be fooled completely, right, as Eve and many others of us have been, then that's one thing I guess that you guys can consider to do something different. But anywho, here's another verse, Ephesians 5:6. It says, "Let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of these things, the wrath of God comes upon the sons of disobedience." People can come tell you all day what they think you should do. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can come all day and present to you, this is what I'm doing, and you come do this thing with me, or whatever the case may be. Like they say, if everybody jumping off the bridge, you should jump off the bridge too, type of thing. But should you, friend? Should you jump off the bridge just because everybody else is jumping off the bridge? These are the questions, right, that we should be asking ourselves. And I believe that this is what this verse is reminding us of. Don't let anyone deceive you with empty words. Because at the end of the day, again, like, I feel like this is something that was revealed to me this year in regards to the Adam and Eve situation. The fact that Adam and Eve, they received all these things from God. They communed with God. They walked with God, all this different type of stuff, right? But then Satan threw the snake, or however you want to look at it. The enemy came, had done nothing for them, and made them empty promises, and they just believed it. And we the same way. We the same way in our day and time, you know. And I guess, you know, maybe we should ask the question, look, like Janet Jackson said, look, what have you done for me lately? That probably would have been a nice question to ask the serpent in that moment. You know what? What have you done for me to be able for me to listen to you about what you talking about? At the end of the day, I walk with God. At the end of the day, God made me in his image. So I am like God. I'm not God, but I'm made in his image. And so, you know, that would have been some good stuff to think about in that time. But I guess obviously they didn't think about those things. They didn't ask any questions in regards to what have you done for me? Like, why are you even talking to me? You know, all these different type of things. There's lots of questions, right, that could have been asked or whatever. But, you know, but again, we can't look down on Adam and Eve and just because they fail. Because again, they represent each and every one of us. We all would have done it as well. So, something to think about. Again, don't just let people deceive you with, you know, their thoughts and opinions and things of that nature. Like, it's more beneficial, it's more important for us to follow God and do, again, his will, his way, than to allow anybody to get us off of that path. Because at the end of the day, they quote unquote tried to blame, for example, I think one of the verses I put on here, and even if I didn't, you guys can go back to Genesis and look at the account. You know, yeah, Eve could say the serpent deceived me, and then Adam could say, Eve, the woman you gave me this fruit, or whatever the case may be. But really, it's you and your choice at the end of the day. Eve chose to believe the serpent over her husband and then over God and everything like that. And Adam chose to eat the fruit that his wife presented him rather than slapping it out of her hand or, you know, doing anything of that nature. And so, even though you try to point and place blame on anybody, you can say, oh, it's my situation. Oh, it's my family. Oh, these are reasons for me not to, you know, do the things that God is telling me to do. But at the end of the day, you're going to be the only one held accountable for that choice and those actions. So just something to think about, you know. You can't really blame nobody at the end of the day. Let me see. I think I got one more verse, y'all, and it is Romans 16:18. It says, for such persons do not serve our Lord Christ, but their own appetites. So by sin doth talk and flattery, they deceive the hearts of the naive. That's the thing we need to be asking. Like when people are coming to you, and I know it's hard because you see people, right, and you're just thinking that this person, they're a person just like me, X, Y, and Z. But we got to remember that there's spirits behind people. You know what I mean? Like people, yeah, you see people, but then at the same time, there's a spirit behind like what they do, what they say, and all of that. Like, and some of us are open to the spirit of the enemy because we've opened the door in whatever reasons or ways that we do. And so ultimately, again, if you're someone that's going to hold up whatever you hear and see and do to the Bible and do things in that way, then it might be better and easier for you to discern which spirit is talking to you. You know what I mean? Like, and even if it's yourself, right? Even if it's coming in your own heart and mind, and you got that inner voice that's speaking to you. Like, usually by what they're speaking in whatever, you can tell, like, is this the spirit of God or is this the spirit of the enemy? Again, anything that's going against life, anything that's going against, you know, again, God's will, God's way, what the Bible has to say, and things of that nature, then it's probably not the spirit of God. And vice versa, like things that are, you know, upbuilding and, you know, fruits of the spirit and patience and things like that, then it's probably God, you know. Now, we can't simplify it in that way because, like the Bible tells us, even Satan himself comes as an angel of light. So sometimes things look like it blurs the line of being both good and bad, But again, this is how we should be building up our spirit, like we was talking about last time I was here, building up our spirit enough to know the difference between the two, and then also to be able to discern, again, the difference between the two. Like, these are just things to think about. Again, if you don't want to be fooled completely, or have this whole thing of hook, line, and sinker happening to you, then these are some things that you guys can think about. Let these things peruse on your heart, souls, and minds. You guys can go deeper about all these things. Plenty of verses in the go deeper section to do those things with and let marinate and things of that nature. And so I hope that you guys feel free to do that, because that's ultimately the juice this morning. You ain't got to be a whole fool out here. You know what I mean? You don't have to be fooled completely. Like, we have God's word. We have our own living testimonies. We have, plenty out here to know, again, right from wrong, good from bad, or good from evil, however you want to look at it and whatnot. And so that's ultimately the juice this morning. Now, the Bible verse of today is Colossians 3:16. It says, "Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom, tendency," but you guys can go make sure I said that right, "and administering one another in psalms," or admonition, one another in psalms and lyrics and spiritual songs, singing with grace in your health to the Lord. And that's what it says. Now, you guys can go deeper about that. Make sure I read that verse right and everything like that. But yeah, man, that's the juice, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, fabulous Friday. We do have an episode of the GSL Talk Show coming out tonight. I didn't write down our guest's name because obviously I forgot that it was Friday. But you guys, again, if y'all follow us on God, Sex, and Love, you guys should see who our guest is. I know it's an amazing lady. I just can't remember her name right now, so my apologies. But y'all can always go to GodSexandLove.com as well and look at our featured episode. It's coming out at 7 p.m. tonight. But yeah, y'all have a fabulous Friday, and I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. Did you know that you can support us for just 99 cents a month? That's right, friends. You can support everything that we do here at GSL for just 99 cents a month. Take a look around wherever this post is. You might see a link or maybe even a button that says support. Go there, check out the options, consider supporting us because, we enjoy bringing you all the daily inspiration as well as the weekly talk show, but we have much, much more to come. Thank you so much for the consideration. Bye-bye.